Welcome back, Mastery Algebra 1. I'm Mr. White. This is Lesson 12-4, Box and Whisker Plots. We're going to look at another way to visually display data like the histogram we did in 12-2. And Box and Whisker Plots are also like histograms where they visually display quantitative data or counting numbers. So some vocabulary we need to look at when making Box and Whisker Plots. Some vocabulary terms that we need to look for and define and then plot are the median. The median is the middle number in the data set, so after the data has been ordered from least to greatest. So one of the first things that we're going to do when given a data set or have a data set is we need to order the data from least to greatest. First quartile, or we call this Q1. Okay, this is the middle of the lower half of the data set after, again, the data has been ordered from least to greatest. The third quartile, or Q3, is the middle of the upper half of the data set. The maximum is the largest data value, and the minimum is the smallest data value. So example 1. Given this data set, 12, 3, 9, 5, 13, 8, 2, 6, and 12. This could be the number of dollars you have with you. This could be the number of keys you have on a keychain. This could be how many coins you have in your pocket. This could be how many pairs of shoes you have. The first thing that we are going to do is we need to order the data from least to greatest. So take a minute, hit pause, order the data from least to greatest. Go. All right, now that you ordered the data, one of the things that we're going to have to look at when we create a box and whisker plot is we're going to create a bosker with these little tails on the end, or we call whiskers, that uses some type of scale. So if we have a scale here, what we're going to have to do is figure out, well, how do we organize the scale so we can see all of our numbers on it? And we don't want to just randomly put 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9 on this scale. We want to have some evenly spaced intervals that covers the entire grouping or the entire data from 2 to 13. So 2 to 13 is not very far, a distance of about 11. We know it starts with 2, so if we try and space this out in terms of 2s, maybe go from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14, that should cover our data set entirely. All right, so the first thing that we're going to try and find, we're going to find the median of the entire set. Okay, now that the data is in order, the median is that middle number of the data set. There's two things that we can think about. Do we have an odd number data set or do we have an even number of terms? So on our particular data, we have 9 points. So if we have an odd set of 9, there's going to be an exact middle. One way to do this is if we take the number of data points n, if we just add 1 and then divide by 2, that'll give us the exact middle term. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the fifth number should be the exact middle. So we have 2 is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. So 8 is going to be our median. So 8 is the median of the entire set. Next thing, we're going to find the median of the lower half, and this is going to be the first quartile. To find the median of the lower half, we're not going to include the 8. So we're going to look at the 4 numbers, 2, 3, 5, and 6, on the below the 8 here. So we need to find the middle number. Because there are 4 terms, there's no exact middle, but we know that the 3 and the 5 are the 2 that are in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the average of 3 and a 5. So we're going to add 3 plus 5, divide by 2. It's going to give us 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So 4 is our first quartile. Okay. So now we have a lower quartile, median, or lower half, or Q1. Q1 is equal to 4, and we have a median of the entire set, which is 8. Now we're going to do the median of the upper half and get Q3. So, again, we do not include the 8. We're going to look at the 9, 12, 12, and 13. We see that 12 and 12 are the 2 numbers that are in the middle because of the even set. So we're going to take 12 plus 12, divide by 2, which gives us 12. So our third quartile is the number 12. So we have Q1, which is 4. We have the median, which is 8. And we have Q3, which is equal to 12. So there's 2 last points that we need to find, and these are probably going to be hopefully the easiest, is we need to now find the minimum and the maximum numbers. Well, if we look down at the left-hand side, the smaller number, we know that 2 is the least value, and we know 13 is the greatest value. So if we gather up all our data and we put this together to organize it and summarize it, we have this. We got 2, 4 for Q1, 8 median, 3, 12, and the max was 13. Now that we have all the characteristics or the summary statistics for our box plot, now we can actually plot and construct our actual box and whisker graph. The first is to draw the ordinary number line that extends far enough in both directions to include all the data points. So we decided at the beginning that if we go by 2s and start at 2, we should get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14, which covers all of our numbers. The next thing we are going to do is draw short vertical lines above the numbers for Q1, median, and Q3. So at Q1, we had 4. At the median, we had 8. And then at Q3, we had 12. Now we're going to connect these and draw a rectangular box that covers these 3 lines so that we've created our box. Now we're going to go to the minimum and maximum. We're going to put single dot values on 2, and we're going to put another on 13, or about where 13 is. Okay? And we're going to connect these to form the whiskers. So we're going to draw our dot to about the middle of the box and draw our dot to about the middle of the box. And you have created a box plot. Okay? One of the most important things is because we are drawing the box, we need to write the 5-number summary values above the positions in the box and whisker plot, and then give our graph some labels and tell what the data represents. So this was 2. We have 4 for Q1, 8 was our median, 12 was our Q3, and 13 was our max. We could title this pairs of shoes, and then at the bottom we're going to label what the numbers represent. This is number of pairs. Nice writing. Sorry about that. It says number of pairs. Okay. And you are done with your box and whisker plot. All right, practice now. So we're going to identify the minimum, quartile 1, median, third quartile, maximum, and of each data set. Then we're going to make a box and whisker plot of each. Okay, so number 1, we have file sizes in megabytes. So again, the first thing we need to do is, you guessed it, we need to order the data. So if we order the data from least to greatest, we should get 48, 54, 84, 100, 124, 188, and then the 256. So if we write our characteristics, let's write them over here on the side. We need to find the minimum. We need to find the Q1, or first quartile. We need to find the median. We need to find the third quartile. And we need to find the max. So remember, if we just start with the median, we know the median is the middle number. We have an odd data set. We have 7 points. So to find the exact middle, if we don't want to count over, we can add 7 plus 1 to get 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the fourth number from left to right should be the median. So if we go to 4, we're going to see that 100 is our median. Now we're going to find Q1. We're going to go to the lower half, not including this 100. This time we see that we have 3 data sets on the left-hand side. So we have 54. 54 is in the exact middle. So 54 is our Q1. If we go to the upper half, we see that 188 is in the middle. So 188 is the Q3. Now we can look at the lower end. Our minimum was 48, and our max was 256. Okay. So there's our 5-number summary. Now we're going to draw a box and whisker plot. So we have the graph here. We have to figure out what's our scale going to be. Well, it goes from 48 to 256, so there's quite a big spread. Some numbers to think about in terms of intervals. We have 2s. We have 5s, we have 10s, we have 25s. Okay, multiples of 2, multiples of 5 are usually easier to space things out. Being that we're about 48 to 256, might be best to start maybe at 25, because 50 we'll have to go a little lower. So maybe if we start at 25 and go by 25 in intervals. We start here, and this is the graph that we get. I end up going from 25 to about 275. Okay. Now we're going to start with the 3 points in the middle, so Q1, median, and Q3. We're going to add about 54, where we think it is. We're going to draw a vertical line. At the median 100, we're going to place another vertical line. And at 188, we're going to place another vertical line. Once we make a box out of this, now we're going to go to the minimum, about 48. We're going to put a point about where we think 48 is. And we're going to go put to 256. And then we're going to connect those 2 points to our box. Okay, if we place the points that represent that above the 5-number summary, so we have 48, we have 54, median was 100, 188, and 256. And the last thing is just to label, give ourselves the title. We are looking at file sizes, so we can call this file sizes. And our numbers were based off of megabytes, so we can put megabytes. And there's our box and whisker plot and our 5-number summary. All right, your turn. Go ahead, hit pause. Do number 2, daily attendance. Check your answers in a few minutes. Go. All right, welcome back. As you can see, the box plot and the 5-number summary was 24, 27, 29.5, 31.5, and 33. One thing that I did not mention, wanted to see if you could figure it out, is this time we had an even data set. We had 2, 4, 6, 8 points. Okay, so instead of adding 1, what we can do is immediately take half to get 4. So you're going to have 4 on the left side and 4 on the right hand side. Okay, what we need to do, because there's no exact middle, is 29 and 30 were both in the middle, so we're going to take the mean of those. We're going to add 29 plus 30, divide by 2. That gave us 29.5. Then to get the lower quartile and the upper quartile, I drew this line down the middle of 29 and 30. Now, because of the even data set, 29 will be in the lower half and 30 will be in the upper half. So you have to find Q1 using 24, 26, 28, and 29, which then says 26 and 28 are both in the middle. So I took the average of those, got 27, and then 31 and 32 were on the upper end. So 31 plus 32 divided by 2 gave us 31.5. All right, label activity. Go ahead and hit pause. Let's see what you remember from the definitions. Go. Welcome back. If you notice, our minimum or least value was this far point over here. The first part of the box was the lower quartile, or quartile 1. The median is that middle point. Our upper quartile is the upper part of the box, and then the last part, or the furthest data point, is our greatest value. Congratulations. All right, your turn to practice. On these exercises, you're going to find the minimum, the 5-number summary, the minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and the max. And then you're going to do some more practice with making box and whisker plots. If you get stuck, please see your teacher as soon as possible. Otherwise, always do your best. Forget the rest. Bye for now.